Okay, so just to clarify something from last time, um, Jackson, the sending that Samara had received from Larathylar, I'm retconning that to say, find me, little bird, at the Quivering Thumb in Westgate. That name, Larathylar, will not win you any friends nor favor here. That is the sending. If you, obviously this is a bit last minute, if you need me to repeat that at any point, I will do so. So where last session, where the first chapter ended, was you exited the walls of Candlekeep alongside your new friend Hilari, this beautiful moon elf historian who you'd become acquainted with during your 10-day at Candlekeep. And she had offered to teleport you to your destination, Westgate. So exiting the walls, you magically shrunk your two horses to be not as to work with the teleport spell and to not make as much of a mess when they hopefully land in an indoor environment. So Hilari, the Moon Elf historian, Anya, Samura, Eartha, Newt, Eartha's Bloodhawk, your two horses, Sea Salt and Black Beauty, and Samura's animated armor, Jade. You guys gathered in a circle outside the walls of Candlekeep, and Hilari did the ritual casting of teleport, and you all blink out of existence, teleporting to Westgate. So the first thing I'd like to ask you guys to do is to roll a number for all of your characters. So for Jess, you also need to roll one for your horse. Eartha, you need to roll one for your bird and your horse. And Samurai, you need to roll one for Jade. So Jess, two numbers, assign them to whoever you want that number to belong to. Eartha, Samurai, same goes. So Anya, what numbers have you got?
Is this on the 20-sided dice?
Yep.
Yeah. 16 and 15. So Anya 16 and then the horse 15.
Thank you. Samurai?
Okay.
Remember, numbers don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to say Samura is 8, and I'm going to give the 18 to Jade.
Cool. And Eartha?
Eartha and you got 5. Sea Salt got 8. So at least it will be with Samura.
No, maybe not. You don't know that.
Yeah, they don't. You can't go to the same number, so I'm gonna push them to 1.
So
cool.
Oh no.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Anya, as you kind of open your eyes again, you feel your feet make contact, and you're looking at the ground. You see a teleportation circle underneath you. You see wooden floorboards, and as you kind of restabilize yourself and you're looking around, you're in a 15-foot by 15-foot room with a door. Pretty bare room. The walls and the floor and the roof appear to all be made out of wood. You're kind of looking around. You are the only person in this room, Anya. This appears to be your destination, judging by the teleportation circle underneath you, but you are alone here. There is no one else. And as you're kind of adjusting and kind of figuring out what's going on, you do see someone approaching you from the doorway. You kind of just see a figure staring at you for a moment and then taking a step in. Hello? 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 Who are you?
Can I get more of a whereabouts of, like, can I look deeper into where I am, like, see if there's
Yeah, sure.
anything else?
Make a perception check.
Oh, I got a 20.
20. So starting with this woman you see in front of you, she's tall, thin, human, long brown hair, and she looks generally quite jovial, even though she's kind of prodding a stranger who's just appeared in her space, seemingly. She seems still kind of she kind of has a little bit of a smile that she's pushing down, and she looks she doesn't look scared so much as she looks curious, not necessarily excited, but almost broaching excitement. So yeah, so maybe kind of imagine even like an older version of Anya, very much less freckles, but yeah, tall, young, not too young. Maybe she's kind of in her 30s, long brown hair. Looking past her, you can see what appears to be the backside of a counter. You can see in the other room, not the room you're currently in, appears to be a shop of some kind. You can see some wares out on various tables and platforms, and you can see kind of some coinage and bags and registry and ledgers behind the counter. So you kind of gathering from what you can see behind this woman, it looks like there is a shop in the other room, and you are currently behind the counter in a room to the side, which appears to be entirely for this teleportation. This appears to be a room to house the teleportation circle. There is nothing else in this room except the teleportation circle you're standing on, which is essentially it's essentially just a kind of a chalk, a series of chalk circles with runes and script that you don't entirely understand, written on the ground, and there's still kind of a blue magical energy that's humming from it, from your teleportation coming through. But as you've kind of been there for a few moments, that magic energy begins to fade, and you see it becomes kind of regular chalk again. In fact, could you make an intelligence check?
Mm-hmm. 10.
10. The only thing you recognize is, knowing that it's a teleportation circle, you can kind of see some symbolism that is meant to reflect locations that the teleportation circle is bound to, and you can see one of the circles houses a symbol that is indicative of Waterdeep, where you come from. So you think this teleportation circle also links to the city you come from, Waterdeep. But yeah, as you're kind of looking around, you look at the ground, you kind of take in the teleportation circle, you kind of look at yourself. You're wearing all the clothes you were wearing before. You are exactly how you left moments ago, but you are alone. Your horse isn't there, your friends aren't there, Hilari isn't there, and there's just this woman standing in the doorway. She doesn't look hostile to you. She's not like, if you appeared in someone's house, they might be more in your face. She appears to just be curious as to where you've come from, how you've gotten in, or like why you've come in through that teleportation circle. And she's just kind of staring after saying, "Who are you?" She's just kind of standing about 5-10 feet away in that doorway, kind of just staring at you, kind of her hands out slightly, kind of trying to make herself look not threatening, just kind of, "Are you okay?" Kind of that kind of atmosphere. That's the energy you get from her. So yeah, just to pick up, who are you?
I'm Anya. Can you tell me where I am?
Sure. Yeah, this is Aurora's Emporium. You're in Westgate. I'm Lelianor. She kind of takes a few steps forward. So she's about 5 feet away from you now, and she kind of straightens up. She puts her hands like back to her side, and she's like, "Where did you come from? How did you use that circle?
Well, you see, I can't teleport, but I was with some friends and we came from Candlekeep, but it appears I'm the only one that made it.
She kind of like, she looks at the ground in like a moment of thought, and then her hand kind of seizes her her shoulder, and you immediately begin you begin to notice the movements she begins to take are like very anxiety driven. You start to see a bit of panic come over her, and she starts speaking again. We've had issues with the teleportation network. There's something disturbing them. I have no idea where your friends are. How many of you were there?
But how many of us were? Hang on. How many is there again, Brad?
There's 8.
Yes. Well, if you're including horses and birds and suits of
Okay.
armor, 8, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Dang. Okay. Well, anyone who has access to the teleportation circles is under strict orders not to use them. Who did you attempt to come with?
Hilary. She was the one who had created the teleportation circle for us to get here safely from Candlekeep to Westgate.
Hilary is a friend of my grandma. She doesn't. Okay. Okay. Well, your friends could be anywhere. They shouldn't be too far. They should at least be within the surrounding miles. Okay. Do you have any way of getting in contact with them?
Just through sending.
Who do you think? She kind of like hearing that. She's like, okay, good. I can't use magic. Maybe you could find out where one or some of them are?
I suppose so.
So, Anya, who would you like to cast sending to?
I'll cast sending to Hilary.
Okay.
And I'll say, I've arrived safely at Aurora's Emporium in Westgate. Where are you and the others? Hope you're safe. And I can meet you. Yeah, and I can meet you.
Okay, cool. A few moments pass, and you hear a very ragged voice come back through. Anya, I've no idea where I am. It's dark and tight. I don't know what to do. The message ends.
Be helpful. Okay.
Would you
I
like
only
to cast
have
sending
two-
to anyone else? Or do you want to leave it there for now?
No, I'm gonna cast sending to someone else. Just it's hard because I've only got 2 spell slots
Yeah.
for that. I'll cast sending to Samira.
Okay.
Kind of just along the same lines. So just saying that I'm currently in Aurora's Emporium in Westgate. Where are you? Are you safe? Let me know. Am I able to meet you?
Cool. Yeah. So with that, we'll change over. Samura, make a dexterity saving throw.
I ask Bird, do I get any advantages?
I'm afraid not. Not in this. Not
Okay.
in this moment.
That's a good old-fashioned 9.
you rematerialize not in Aurora's Emporium, not on the hardwood floor you'd expected based on Hilari's brief description. You materialize midair, not far from the ground, but landing, your wings innately kind of naturally taking over and like balancing yourself in this change in air pressure as you like bump into a new location. And as you kind of stumble to the ground and you falter standing there, you look around and you are in the outdoors. You are in the center of a menhir ring. A menhir ring is a circle of standing stones, like a prehistoric site with a like Stonehenge, something like that. But these are just 7 freestanding stones, almost spiked, that kind of all face inward, and they are made out of this red stone. And in the center of this menhir ring is a kind of rock plinth, also made out of this red rock. And as you kind of like you're looking around and you're taking in this location, the sky is quite clear. It's about midday. There's a few clouds here and there, but for the most part, it's blue skies. You're in the center of this ring of red jaw-like standing stones. And you realize this menhir ring is on top of a hill, because as you're looking around, you see there are 6 other hills that look similar. They have menhir rings on top, but the others don't appear to be made of red stone. They are made of other stone. So you are in a location with these 7 hills topped with 7 menhir rings, and the one you are standing in, the stones are made of this red rock. And your talons latch onto the ground and you kind of stumble forward a bit before your wings kind of straighten you back up, and you're looking around. What would you like to do?
I'll instinctively turn around to my right, right and just behind me where Jade's usually standing, and go, well, that didn't go as... Wow, it really didn't go as planned. And I'll fly 100 feet up.
As you kind of like, and you start talking and then trail off, and you kind of look around, realizing you're alone, and you start going up. As you get some distance, you really start to see this landscape. You see a city quite immediately close. You're not there. It's probably about an hour to 2 hours of walking away. So flying, it might be. No, it's not too far away, but these 7 hills topped with these menhir rings are very visually striking, and you can see the coast of this massive inland ocean, the Sea of Fallen Stars, to the kind of northeast of you as well. Make a perception check.
What is my perception again? There's a 16.
16?
Yeah, 16.
Cool. As you're kind of stabilizing yourself in the air and taking in your surroundings, you kind of catch below you. You see a humanoid figure like looking up at you, and you can kind of hear some like just some some noise as you see this figure staring up at you. You can't quite, kind of the glare of the sun, without a further perception check, you can't make out any detail, but you know there's someone who's kind of ran up to the top of the ring, hearing your movement.
Can I firstly have a look at, because looking straight down, there's an eagle view. I want to see if there's a pattern I can notice with the positioning of these different stone circles on the top, and then after that, I'm gonna go back down and talk to whoever this is.
Cool. Make a intelligence check.
That is a 22.
22. The menhir rings, the circles of standing stones, they appear to be kind of reflections of the actual hills, kind of like smaller versions of the hills on top of the hills. So all the circles of standing stones have 7 stones, and then there are 7 hills. But the most striking thing is those 7 hills when you actually take an objective look at them, when you're on the ground, they look natural. But now that you've got some height, they look like they must have been like either man-made or magically constructed, because these 7 hills are in a perfect circle, like they are equidistant from each other. But you can't see any reason for why that's the case. But there doesn't appear to be anything else about the Menhirings that stands out to you.
Okay, I'll drop back down towards the other guy and talk to him.
Cool. As you kind of land to the ground, you see this older human man, kind of short shaved, quite closely shaved to the head, grey hair, kind of grey stubble, very sharp features and some spectacles, wearing kind of red and yellow robes and carrying some scrolls. He's kind of if you kind of notice, he's got a bit of charcoal in his hand. He looks like he's been taking like charcoaling bit from the standing stones, kind of ebbing stuff onto paper. And yeah, he's just kind of looking at you. He's like, "Where did you come from?"
Oh, yeah. I was in Candlekeep. Magic, teleportation, usual stuff. Hi, I'm Samura. What is your name?
He kind of chucks his satchel with the papers into it on his shoulder. "You are far from Candlekeep, my friend. My name is Iak." And he kind of reaches a hand out to shake your hand.
Yeah, I'll shake his hand.
Is this where you intended to come?
Well, it was meant to be Aurora's shop, but I assume it's in the city just over there. Something must have went slightly wrong.
Yes. I have no idea how you ended up here, but Aurora's is certainly in the city. You are in or near Westgate, my friend. Do you need an escort to the city, or any kind of motions at your wings? Will you be all right? I can direct you to Aurora's should you need.
If you're heading back to the city anyways, I won't be opposed to company. But if not, don't worry, I'll find my way.
No, my work here today is done. And he kind of tightens the satchel across his shoulder. We can walk back now if that pleases you.
Yes, that sounds great. And on the way back, I want to strike up conversation about these stones and what he was working on and all that sort of stuff.
Cool, yeah. We'll cut back to that. But as you're walking down the hill, you hear Anya's voice come into your head, kind of as you're sharing some pleasantries with this Iak fellow. You hear Anya's voice saying she's in Aurora's Emporium. She has no idea where anyone else is. Yeah, like she's saying, should we meet? Where are you? You know, the message she sent to Hilari, a very similar one comes through to you. You have 25 words to reply.
Okay. I'll go. Outside the city, not far. About an hour. I'll meet you at Aurora's. And we'll sort this out. And then, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, cool. So cutting back to you, Anya. A few moments later, you hear Samura's words come back through. As you and at this point, you've probably left the teleportation room, and you're having a good look at Aurora's Emporium. It's quite an eclectic space. It's not very big. The shop itself isn't very big. It's kind of just got a little bit of everything. It hasn't got like weapons or armor or anything, but it's just got like odds and ends, stuff you might need, stuff that you probably would never need, just kind of lying about everywhere. There doesn't seem to be any structure to how it's organized. Kind of like a charity shop, but mixed with a normal shop, kind of like that, kind of like an antique shop, but with more general products. And Lelianor's just kind of barraging you with the odd question, even though she doesn't expect you to have answers. And yeah, are you wanting to cast Sending on anyone else, or is that was that your spell slots?
I don't have any spell slots left.
No worries. Is there anything else you would like to try and do, or are you waiting for Samura or for any other word?
I'll wait for Samura to arrive. But I think I might I might have a look around, like the shop, just while I wait.
Yeah, no worries.
And just kind of make small talk with is it Eleanor? Did you say Eleanor?
Lelianor. So it's Eleanor, but with an L up front. um, Lelianor or Lelanor, however you want to pronounce it.
Okay.
In that case, we'll move on to Eartha next. Jackson, could you find the in the player's handbook, the adventuring gear section, like with the spyglass and the abacus and all that stuff? Could you find that online and send the link to Jess? Anything you can find in store is just what's on the adventuring gear table. So Jackson will send that over to you in a sec. Eartha, you rematerialize, and like before you open your eyes, you kind of move in a you're not through like your own movement, like you moving your muscles. You just have a very large involuntary movement, and you feel your bottom half stuck. Like you are pushed backwards, semi-violently, but not enough to hurt you in any way. And you feel your bottom half not budge an inch. And as you kind of open your eyes, you feel the sting of salt water rush in, and you immediately like hold your breath as much as you can. So Eartha, what is your the amount of time you can hold your breath is 1 plus your constitution modifier. So how many minutes can you hold your breath?
So 1 plus my constitution. I've got 3 minutes. Shit. Yeah.
Cool.
Got 3 minutes.
You've got 3 minutes. Make a perception check.
Okay, that's not too bad. That I can do. That I can really do. That was a natural 20 plus 11 plus 16, so 36.
36, very good. Okay, you get I'll give you so no time. This doesn't chew into your time at all. You catch on to what is happening around you very quickly. You appear to be, you're stuck. Your bottom half is buried in wet sand and clay, 20 feet under the water's surface. Judging by how the water isn't shallow by any means, like 20 feet isn't shallow if you're drowning under there, but like, you're not out at open ocean by any means. Looking around, kind of seeing the way the light's hitting the water, you think you can see the bottom of boats off in the distance in a regimented order. So you think you're probably in the city's harbor, because like this isn't a deep water harbor. This is just a normal harbor. So a deep water harbor, like Waterdeep has, is about 30 feet deep. This harbor is about 20 feet deep, which is about the average for a harbor. So you think you're in the city's harbor, but the water surface is 20 feet up. But you are wearing heavy armor, and you are also half buried in wet sand and clay. So tell me what you're doing.
What's around me? What's going on here?
So since it's the harbor, there's not a lot of foliage. There is some kind of foliage kind of grabbing to the sea floor. Not so much many animals. You maybe kind of catch a glimpse of a few crabs here and there, very sparsely. You don't see a lot of fish, maybe 1 or 2. But not a lot of foliage, just because the constant passage of boats, it's always getting sliced back down. So the foliage has simply stopped growing as densely. But yeah, you're kind of not exact, like it's not up to your waistline. I'd say one of your legs is kind of up. Your left leg is buried up to the knee, and your right leg is buried up to the thigh. You're kind of at an angle, kind of your hands pressed on the surface of that wet sand and clay, but your legs are to varying degrees trapped in the silt underneath.
Right, okay, right. Oh, please I have that spell. If I have that spell, it's going to be great. But I don't think I have that spell. I don't have that spell, but I could have got it if I... Oh, that would have been... Okay, shit, I'm going to drown.
I think your only option is to try and get yourself unstuck and just do it the normal way.
Right, I'm going to buy... Can I buy... Right, this is going to be...
I've just started... That's a minute gone. I've just started a 2-minute timer.
This is going to be a really, like, silly question. destroy water at 3rd level destroys 30 gallons of water. Will I be able to destroy 30 gallons of water around my head so I get extra breathing time just before the water rushes back in?
I would allow that. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna wait
So
till I'm
you
like.
would essentially, I think that you would take bludgeoning damage for the ocean fucking collapsing in on you, but you would get a moment of, you could get your breath back, I would say, but you would take bludgeoning damage from the ocean coming back in on you.
Would I know how? But I'm doing this as I want this to be a very last minute thing. But how do I know how much it would hurt me?
Probably not enough to kill you by any means.
That's right.
Nothing near that severe.
Right, that's doable.
You've got about a minute.
Okay, when that gets to 30 seconds, I'm casting that just to get my breath back. Whilst I figure out what else I can do.
So you're buried and you're in heavy armor. You can still you could probably still swim to the surface in heavy armor if some good checks. But if you're struggling, you might need to ditch the heavy armor. So, but the first issue is you're buried. So what's the situation?
I like how
wait.
the one man with heavy armor's dying in water.
No. I got an idea. So when I get
30
seconds,
right,
casting that spell of 3rd level.
Okay. So done. Okay. You kind of, as you're taking around, you're starting to like instinctively pull and push your way, trying to free yourself, but just the squelching and the density of the water is pushing the earth back in on you every time you get some leeway from it. You kind of is there any kind of which spell are you using? Sorry, is it create destroy water?
Yeah, I'm casting it at 3rd level, so that's 30 gallons.
I just need to see.
A lot of water, is it not?
That is a lot of water.
You're essentially making like a massive bubble that's immediately destroyed around you. So destroy water. You destroy up to 10 gallons, which you're timesing by 3 because you're casting at 3rd level. The size of you, 5 feet. Okay, so the components, if you're destroying, are a few grains of sand. So since you're stuck in sand and clay, I'll allow it. So you kind of grab you slap your hands onto the surface of the ground underneath this water, and you just grab a pinch of sand and kind of rub it into your submerged hand, and this massive bubble of 30 gallons around you explodes, and you take in you take a few seconds to breathe as you see the water rushing back in towards you, and you take in one huge breath as it kind of smashes in around you. You're going to take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as the ocean, and like even though you can't see it, you think people on the harbor might notice something's happening. They might not necessarily know anything's wrong, but like that kind of that's like if Niagara Falls just kind of appeared out of nowhere. Not to that extent, but there's definitely just been like a huge dip in the ocean and then it burbled back up. So
check question.
You think that might got some tension? Yeah.
Water walk. It says if I cast it underwater, I float up 60 feet. Like if
you will as soon as you get unburied.
So okay, right? Because I was hoping that would propel me up.
No, it would. It's like if as soon as you're not stuck, because it's like someone's holding you down.
Right.
I'm starting another 3-minute timer.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna take my shield off my back and start using that as a shovel.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. So you kind of slam your right side to the ground and manage to, with your left elbow, kind of smash the shield off your back. And as it kind of, with all the water moving, it kind of starts to float away, and you grab the handhold behind it, and you just start smashing it into the ground and digging at the sand. Make a strength check with disadvantage.
Oh. 22. I got a natural 20 and then 18.
Okay. Roll on a d4 to see how many minutes it's going to take you to dig it, but do it with advantage. So roll it twice and take the lower.
I don't have a d4. Why do I have a d4?
2 minutes and 8 seconds left.
I got 2 and 1. Which one do I take?
One. One. So it takes you 1 minute to free yourself from the dirt and sand. So using the shield as a shovel, you start just digging into this wet earth, this compacted, soaked clay and sand. And as you kind of free yourself, and you kind of like you're then sitting on the floor of the harbor, you reach into your armor and consider for a moment unstrapping it as you realize how weighed down you are. You grab a piece of cork required for the water walk spell and crush it in your hand, and you begin floating up to the water's surface, where before your breath runs out, like 5 seconds before your breath runs out, you emerge on the water's surface, but not just your head, your entire body, until your feet bob out on top, and you're now standing on top of the water's surface. You're about 50 feet away from the dock, and you can see ships in the harbor. You can see a ship sailing past you and some crewmen kind of looking off the side, kind of, when you see like a drunk person on the road and like, get out the way, like shouting out the window. These guys like, go, get the fucking way. And you're just kind of like standing there, kind of looking up at the ship sail past you as you take a few like steps back out the way. So yeah, you're standing on the surface of the water in the Westlight Harbor.
Right, I'm going to... Because I now no longer have sending, because I swapped that for water walk. I also don't have a 3rd level spell slot, because I used both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Going well.
wander onto shore.
Cool. Yeah. Well, actually, so there's, if you were to look at a map of Westgate, the way the harbor works is it's kind of semi-enclosed. So I'll say, for the sake of ease, to the right of you, you can see a. Sorry, let me just get this up so I get it right. You're facing west. So to the left of you appears to be the bulk of the city. To the right of you appears to be an arm that comes out to kind of enclose the harbor, and at the tip of that arm, you can see a lighthouse. Behind you, you can see the mouth of the harbor that goes out into open ocean, and north of you, you see kind of more of the city. So to the east and to the south of you appears to be the majority of the city. Which kind of direction would you like to wander in?
Towards the city. Actually, no.
East or west? Oh, yeah. Sorry, east or... No, west or south. Sorry. The map isn't orientated north top. Confusing.
We'll go east.
East. Cool.
Yeah.
No, wait, sorry. That's me again. It's so if you go north, you're going towards the lighthouse. If you go east, you're going towards open water. If you go south or west, you're going towards the bulk of the city.
We'll go west.
West. Okay.
West.
Cool. So yeah, if kind of getting yourself in order, kind of like put it like you are soaking wet. You already weigh a ton because you're wearing heavy armor, but now all of that armor, all of your belongings, all of your clothes underneath are just soaked through densely. You smell like the ocean and fish, and you're kind of like your hair dripping wet. You start walking towards the nearest dock, where you then like climb a ladder and pull yourself up. And there's people just kind of like, no one approaches you or anything like that, but there's like merchants and commoners and dock workers who all just kind of like throw you a curious glance and then go back to whatever they're doing as you begin to wander into the city.
At this point, I would
mhm.
probably begin to panic, as I don't see my horse and my bird, do I?
No, you do not.
Right.
Or your friends.
I'm not bothered about them. I know they'll be alright. They can deal with themselves. It's the bird that I know can't deal with himself, and the horse will probably be stolen. I'm gonna... My falcon, my hawk, it'll have like a little signet on it, won't it, to say it's mine? Like
I would imagine so, yeah.
Can I cast locate object on that?
Yeah. Tell me what distance it works up to.
1,000 feet. So as long as it's within 1,000 feet and there isn't a bit of lead blocking direct path, I should be good.
You don't detect anything at the moment.
Shit.
So I'm saying this as when you get to. So you said you wanted to go west. When you get to the west docks and you find yourself in the actual city, like you find yourself on. I'll say for the purposes of this, either Sword Lane or Westlight Walk, or kind of the intersection between Sword Lane and Westlight Walk. You cast Locate Object on the tag that you'd attached or had been attached prior to you buying Newt to his Talon, and you do not you are not currently within 1,000 feet of that tag.
And I do the same for my horse's saddle.
Sure.
Burning spell
Let me
slots,
just-
but I don't care.
Let me double check where your horse ended up.
Because I can't send in anyone, so I've got to think of other.
You also do not detect your horse currently.
Then I'm going to do it one last time and save one level spell slot after this. Lowry, what did she have on her that I would have recognized? So as long as I had seen it within 30 feet, so as long as I was within 30 feet of it and I can recognize it and describe it, I'll be alright.
I'll say she's probably because kind of beauty is one of the big things you noticed about her. She definitely takes certain pride. Just to re-describe Hilari, it's been a while. So Hilari is a moon elf. She has kind of light to mid blue skin, kind of dark blue lips and silvery blue freckles, and light blue eyes, silver hair that she often has up in like a ponytail or a bun. Her robes are kind of also blue lined with gold. But I'll say she probably has some kind of ornamentation in her hair, not quite a crown, but kind of something fancy, some kind of like metal intertwining feature that you kind of maybe recognize. You're like, you kind of, kind of not that you're a thief, but that you have an eye for luxurious items. You probably, when you first met her, you were like, oh wow, that looks expensive. I'll say that this kind of hair feature, this kind of metal luxury that she has entwined into her hair. You can try and cast locate object on that if you like.
Yes.
You detect the hairpiece about. Apologies. Sorry, let me just get this right. About 800 feet from you. Sorry. A lot closer than that. You're at the junction between Sword Lane and Westlight Walk, about not even that, like 100 feet west of you. On the side of the road, you see what appears to be a temple that has this massive tower on top, and you kind of detect her presence coming from near that temple.
I will head off to try find her.
Yeah, so you start. What are you kind of? Are you walking off, or are you running, or are you? What's the
light jog?
Cool. Yeah, you just obviously you're being weighed down massively at the minute from soaked heavy armor, but yeah, you start a light jog off into the direction of where you detect Hilari. Okay, cool. Since actually cutting back to Samura, we'll say. Actually, wait, Anya, you said you were just making. Is there anything specific you wanted to talk to Lelianor about, or do you just want it to kind of be said you're just having general chit chat?
Yeah, just general chit chat.
No worries. So cutting to you, Samura, could you remind me what you wanted to ask? I've forgotten his name. Now I'll get it. I can't even. I'm not even hearing it properly. I need to see it written down.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
Ayek. God, that's such a dumb name. Love this game.
You wrote it.
Actually, I found it in an obscure source book from 50
Oh,
years ago. So, yeah. So, remind me what you wanted to be discussing with Ayek.
I wanted to talk to him about his what he's doing, writing down. He said he was like chalking or some sort of way of writing down stuff to do with the like the stones I was at, and also ask him just on knowledge of the stones and like why he thinks they're there. Is it a known reason, theories, stuff like that.
So we'll go with the purpose of the stones first of all. Well, the current assigned purpose is that they are ritual sites, each dedicated to a god. My research pertains to the seventh god, the lost god. No one's quite sure who the seventh circle is dedicated to, but my research is developing along nicely. But and he kind of leans in a bit. Little known, the sites were developed into shrines after they were made. That was not their original purpose.
Do you know the original purpose?
I do. Would you like to know? And you can see he's very like excited by this. Like he very much
Like,
he get the sense he's never spoken to anyone who really gives a shit before.
can I try and make like a really big deal of it? Like, of course, I'm super interested.
He kind of like he almost like jumps off the ground for a second in excitement, and he kind of seizes you with one arm, and he kind of stops the walking. Then he remembers your situation, and he starts walking again, kind of pushing you on. And he's like, "Well, I'm not sure if you noticed, but the construction of the hills are quite regimented. They are not naturally occurring features of the landscape. Long ago, they were a weapon." Uh, and he kind of start. How much do you know about the Rage of Dragons?
From being from Chult, there was one or two, but not much at all about dragons in general, to be honest with you.
He kind of like you see like a smile kind of lick across his face, and he's like, I see where the confusion is. Not generally the Rage of Dragons. The Rage of Dragons is a event that occurs every time a star, the King Killer star, flies across the night sky. It sends dragons into a frenzy. They kill everything in sight, including each other. Now, the event occurs no longer. Something or other happened to stop it. I'm not too familiar. 100 years ago or so. But before that happened, thousands of years ago, people tried to stop the star from wreaking havoc. They built the Seven Hills as a weapon. And just for this is his general lore. So the night sky of this world you guys are living in has one moon called Selune, but there used to be two moons. Now there's Selune and a trail of asteroids that follow it called the Tears of Selune, which you can see every night in the night sky. You see the moon and then these asteroids that follow it. So Selune and the Tears of Selune. The weapon missed the star and destroyed our second moon, and that's how the Tears were born. The weapon was obviously discontinued, too much havoc caused, but that's the history of this place. But yes, dedicated into shrines after the fact, and my research pertains to the seventh shrine.
You said you don't know who the seventh one was dedicated for, didn't you?
I have my theory that I'm pushing, but it's not generally accepted yet.
Well, how about you and tell me the other six? Who are they accepted to be for?
The first six are generally accepted to be dedicated to, well, where you appeared, the Hill of Fangs, and he kept like looking back, and you see this hill with these red stones pointing in. He's like, you can see why it's called that. Is dedicated to Moanda. The others honor Garagos, Goandar, Jurgle, Savras, and Sylvanus. And the seventh one is where my research is focused on. But I saw your appearance while I was on my way from the Seventh Hill, and I Thought I'd come and see what the fuss was about.
Can I, when he says Sylvanus, can I just kind of like I'll turn and look to the hills just on purpose so that he can't see my face,
Mhm.
and I'll quickly it'll be like quite a very quick eyes close in my head without moving anything in my face so he can't even tell. It's just like a quick, good old buddy. I've never been one to pray to the gods, but always looking out for me. Just because I've had
You would
them
actually,
issues with Sylvanus before. Well,
yeah, yeah.
the things.
You would also recognize that Sylvanus is one of the only gods he named there that isn't evil. He's not the only good god, but the rest are pretty generally evil.
Yeah. And then I'll turn back to the guy, and I'll go. So the seventh one. What enthrall me with your theories?
Oh, well, my research indicates that it's dedicated to a Jamdathi god of mental magic, psionics, Orpensa. But I have not yet found anything too concrete, just my reading of the plinths and the inscriptions that are still present on the hill today.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Just give me a moment. I need to try and talk to a friend.
Of course,
Magic
of course.
and stuff.
He kind of
Yeah.
runs his lips across his,
Yeah.
runs his fingers across his lips.
And I'll just keep walking and keep looking forwards as I do this, just so I'm not looking at him. And I'll cast Sending to Ufa since I haven't heard from him, and I have heard from Anya.
Mhm.
Hello. I talked to Anya. Why am I'm going into an Ufa accent while doing this? Hello. I talked to Anya. I thought I'd give it a little bit in case you were. I don't know where you ended up. Are you okay? Where are you off to?
Cool.
That's
Cutting back over to Eartha. So Eartha, as you're kind of in that light jog towards Hilari, or the location of Hilari's hairpin, you see or you hear the voice of Samura enter your mind. You have 25 words to reply, if you like.
I will reply with wet. Heading towards Hilari. Think she might be in trouble.
Right.
Like me. Don't know where animals are. Very wet.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that. Do we not have sending stones?
Yes, we do, but who would use a sending stone when I could waste a spell slot? Think logically here, Alice. So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Did you divvy them up already? I can't remember.
yeah,
I think
did.
no, you
He
did.
gave
Yeah,
it
you
to
did.
me when he left the Citadel to say, "Oh, contact me when you
Yeah.
leave." But
To
then
be
when
fair, I didn't put them on your magic item sheet, so you can blame that one on me.
Yeah. So after that, I turn to the guy. I guess my friend, apparently he's wet. He must have ended up in the ocean or something like that, but he seems to be talking, so he mustn't be drowning. Yeah, just
Iark will be like, well, there is the harbor, there's the Lord's Water, which is a large lake in the city, and there's the River Thun, so there are a few options if he's ended up wet.
yes. I guess I'm sure he'll be fine. If you just give me another moment, I need to try out something else, and I'm gonna
Of course.
again fly up. If I fly up 100 feet, will I be able to see? Not like perfectly over the wall, but over the walls enough of the city so I can see most of the city.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because in case the walls had any lead or any material in them to stop me, I now want to
Okay.
cast Locate Object on Jade.
1,000 feet is like less than 1,000 steps, so it's not.
Yeah.
You're not gonna catch much of the city. Where you're
I'll wait
currently at.
until I get closer then, if I can.
You probably want to do it when you're in the city. If you're trying to look for it in the city, if you want to look for it outside of the city, you should try now.
Actually,
Uh,
yeah, I'll cast it now, just in case she's
Okay.
outside of the city.
sure. You do not detect her within 1,000 feet of you currently.
Okay, yeah, I'll go back down, keep talking to my bloke friend, and walk to the sea.
Cool. Sure. Eartha, cutting back to you. You're now approaching the base of this spire. So you can see there's this large spire looming above you, which is on top of seemingly a temple. You can tell it's a temple by the structure, but you can't currently see any priests or any symbols on the outside that indicate as to what god or religion. And you can see attached to the side a cemetery, and you can detect coming from under one of the gravestones the signature of Hilari.
Do I know which gravestone?
Yeah, you run out into the cemetery and you're like right on top of it, and you are like you can see like she is right beneath you. You are standing on top of a grave with like a headstone, but she is apparently beneath you.
Oh shit! Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start digging with my shield.
Cool. You can kind of see. Make a perception check.
Tells no one.
But if they ask what I'm doing, I'm gonna say my friend's down there, and if she's dead, I'll just I can't cast Revivify. I don't have a 3rd level spell.
You're a grave robber. That's all you are.
That is 22.
22. Was that on a strength check?
Perception. You said do a perception check.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. As you kind of slide on top, like on your knees, and you have the shield out again, and you start ripping into the ground. You can kind of see some of the earth moving very slightly beneath you.
Is that good or
And
bad?
you get the sense she's, with that perception check, since it's over 20, you get the sense she's at least broken a portion of the casket's lid, and she's interacting with the earth in some way, but not massively effectively.
That's fine. I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah. Roll a d4.
Four.
4. Okay. A mixture of after about 40 minutes of you, after much shorter than that, after like 5 minutes, you start to realize she's very much alive and struggling against the earth.
Mm-hmm.
But through a mixture of her pushing up through the earth and you just tearing at the earth's surface with your shield, after about 40 minutes, she breaks the earth's surface, and you like pull her out. Her robes are completely covered in dirt, and her like lovely washed silver hair is blackened with dirt and muck, but she is kind of out on the earth's surface standing next to you, and she kind of collapses to the ground, and like as you're sitting there next to her, she just throws her arms around you and she's like, "Thank you so much, Eartha. Oh my god,
I wouldn't hug me. I'm very wet.
You are soaking." And she kind of pushes. She's like, "But I suppose it can't get much worse."
It can. I don't know where my bird is.
And he's not about me.
Oh no,
So
I know
you're
what that
both-
one is. That one I can
you're both-
contact.
You and Hilari are both kind of sitting on your butts, just on like this apparently empty grave. So this casket had apparently been buried without anyone in it. So there was an empty space for a person to appear in, and you're just kind of sitting there, kind of next to each other. Kind of, you're soaking wet. She's covered in dirt, like an earthworm wriggling through her robes that falls out. Like both just panting for like dear life. Like you pulled yourself from the ocean and then ran somewhere and then tore at the earth with a shield for 40 minutes. So you're like very tired.
Let's not mention to anyone that I nearly drowned. For everyone just needs to know I was in the ocean. I was perfectly fine. There was no panic. It was all good. Everything was planned.
And after a few moments of you guys just sitting there, She's like, she says like, I'm sorry about your bird. Oh,
I have a question. You're a spellcaster, right?
yes.
Do you have locate animal?
Locate animal. I do not, but I have locate object.
Nah, I've tried it here.
Well, I
That's
can
how I
perhaps.
found you.
She sat like she puts a hand on your shoulder and kind of uses you to stand on her feet, where she kind of like smashes some dirt from her robes as she kind of straightens her back. And she kind of looks around, and she looks up at the spire, and she's like, "Okay, well, I know where we are. I can try casting locate object on the way to Aurora's."
Alright, and I'll do it when we get to Aurora's.
She reaches a hand out to help you up.
Alright, I'll take it.
She pulls you up, or as much as she can. Okay, well, it's
I have a
this
question
way.
to the DM.
Yes. Oh, to me, yep.
If I draw my sword and set it alight to dry myself off, do you reckon people are gonna look at me funny?
It'll look menacing if you have a flaming sword walking through the streets. You think it's probably not kosher.
Alright, that's fine then. Okay, I'll just walk dripping.
To be honest, by this point though, because the weather's not bad, it's mostly clear. Your armor, like obviously you're wearing clothes underneath your armor, they're still soaking wet, but the armor itself and a lot of your belongings have probably started to dry out. It's just your actual clothes underneath that are still wet.
Do you reckon there's a spare room in this huge building we're next to?
Are you saying that to her or to me?
I'll say that to her.
The temple.
Yeah.
And she looks up and she's like, I'm not sure.
Because I have a set of
This is
spare clothes I could put on. Oh no.
well,
They were in the bag of holding. Is the bag of holding wet on the inside?
no. I'll say no.
That's alright then.
I'll be sympathetic. This is and she kind of motions at the spire, this very tall tower. This is the Spire of Suffering. It's a temple of Ilmater. She kind of slaps you on the shoulder, kind of turning you a little bit, and you watch as she kind of runs up the steps to the front door, and and a few moments pass, and someone kind of opens the door, and they bow at each other and exchange some pleasantries, and from the top of the steps, she kind of, yeah, they said it's okay if you change quickly.
All right, that's fine then. I'll
Cool.
Yeah, I'll just go get changed and I'll come out in a tuxedo.
Yeah, so you're wearing the tuxedo you wore to heist the Aomane house. I'm guessing you just shove all your armor in the bag of holding and everything. Yeah, so you're wearing a tuxedo and you just fling the bag of holding over you. You look like James Bond and Indiana Jones mashed into one. And yeah, you kind of smack some of the water and dirt out of your hair. And now you look very presentable as you re-enter. And Hilary says, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that."
Don't carry much clothes. This was a gift from somewhere else. And then
I see.
We had a second one,
well,
but kind of broke.
Well, the lives you lead, that doesn't surprise me. We should hurry to Aurora's and see if our friends are okay.
Yeah, lead the way.
Cool. So she leads you off towards Aurora's Emporium. So I'll say it probably took you about 10 minutes to find Hilary, plus the 40 minutes before, then the 10 minutes to get changed. So it's been about an hour. So Eartha and Hilary, you'll be arriving at Aurora about half an hour before Samura. Would you like to try and locate object along the way, or are you...
I'm going to wait till I get there, then I'll locate object.
Okay. So yeah, you arrive at Aurora's Emporium. You see as you walk through the streets, so it's a fairly, imagine typical medievally European city, kind of wattle and daub buildings, some cobblestone buildings, none particularly tall except for the odd tower here and there, like the Spire of Suffering. The streets are fairly busy. This appears to be a big merchant city, as it's a port city on this inland ocean. So there's a fair amount of foot traffic. And as you arrive at Aurora's Emporium, you see this modest building, not huge, nothing like that. kind of these big alabaster windows and a single door at the front, and above the single door, kind of a sign with a woman's face hanging on it. Just like a portrait of a woman with kind of looks maybe like 40 years old, kind of smiling towards the artist, long auburny brown hair. Yeah, and there's kind of some potted flowers in troughs at the bottom of these long alabaster windows. And Hilary kind of knocks twice on the door before opening, even though you assume it's a shop and it's open during the day. And yeah, Anya, you see as you hear a knock as you're having a polite conversation with Lelianor, and you see Hilary and Eartha emerge into Aurora's. And Lelianor immediately says, Anya, are these your friends? Then she recognizes Hilary, and she comes around, and they kind of briefly embrace each other and like exchange quick pleasantries. And then Lelianor says to you, Eartha, I'm Lelianor, and she reaches out a hand to you.
I'll go and shake her hand and say I'm Eartha, and then realize how dirty my hand is and go like, eh.
It's fine. I'm a worker. It's fine. Well, so 1, 2, that's 3 of 8. Okay. Well, we know where your other friend is. He's on his way. So, and she's kind of just rambling now. She's kind of looking for someone to take over.
So we still need 1 bird, 2 horses, and a suit of armor.
Yeah, that's who you don't currently have accounted for.
Great. I'm going to cast Locate Object.
On?
The bird. Newt.
You do not currently detect anything.
Shit.
It's dead, man. That bird dead.
You would still detect the object if it was.
Yeah.
Dead.
It's just not within
But,
1,000 feet.
You know, maybe it's dead. Who can say?
Hello,
Actually, I need to retcon something. I just realized the route. So let's rewind. Actually, Then Hilary, because of the route you would have taken back from from where you were at the Spire of Suffering towards Aurora's. At one point, you walk past the Market Triangle in the center of the city, and you notice quite a crowd has gathered. Because in the center of the market is a guard tower 5 stories high, and on the roof of the guard tower is a black horse who is freaking the fuck out.
It's a miniature black horse as well.
It's currently smaller, which is why it hasn't fallen from the roof. But it's been up there for like an hour, and it is free. And like there is a huge crowd gathered in the market, and the guards aren't even doing anything. They're just like staring up, like, "Allah, get up there!" And they don't know what to do about. They're just kind of waiting for it to fall and kind of trying to get people to back up so it doesn't crush anyone. Yeah, and they're like, "Back up, back up!"
Can I walk up and tell the guards, go, that's one of my horses.
He looks guffaw. He just right. How are you going to get it down?
Give me 2 minutes to think about this.
You've got 1.
What do I own? Do I have? I don't have one of those. Hilary, do you have any like? Oh, does Hilary have any like floaty magic? What's it called? The feather falling.
I do have Featherfall, but I also have Fly.
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah.
Oh, is your plan to fly and grab a horse and then fly back down?
It's a miniature horse at the moment. I've got a little bit of time before he enlarges again.
It's medium sized.
Like when you carry a cat and it doesn't want to be carried, and it's like,
like, but it's just the same size as a dog.
Yeah,
a big dog.
That's doable. I'm a strong boy. I can do this.
It's the same size as us.
Okay. Then Hilary places a hand kind of on like the back of like just kind of looking at you. She just places a hand on the back of your neck and she says, "Good luck," as you feel the magic kind of breathe through you and at will. So you touch a willing creature, which she did. The target gains a flying speed of 60 feet. For the duration. When the spell ends, the target falls if it is still aloft, unless it can stop the fall So as long as she's concentrating on it, you've got 10 minutes of flight. She also takes out a small wing, like a small feather, a feather from a wing, and consumes it for the spell. You can now fly for 10 minutes.
Right, I'm gonna go grab the horse.
Yeah, so you kind of you don't have to flap your arms or anything. You just you kind of command yourself to fly as you would to walk, and you just start flying up, and the whole crowd starts like, "Oh wow, look, Dory, look!" And everyone's like pointing at you as you start floating up to the top, and the horse is like.
I'm gonna attempt to calm Black Beauty before I pick her up. That is
with
what you named
advantage
it,
for
right?
remembering a name. Yes,
That is, yeah. I was gonna say I knew it was something stupid.
What would it?
You got advantage for remembering the name.
Does he not get disadvantage for the fact it's on a roof? So is it not just normal?
Pepper or something like that.
I've already killed most of your animals, so I'll let him have it.
A bird. My horse.
Clank.
18.
Jade.
Jade's not an
Say
animal.
again?
18.
You were animated armor.
18. You kind of slowly float towards Anya's horse and kind of reach out an unarmored hand, since you've taken off your armor, and kind of lay it on its head and begin a polite stroke, and it kind of calms itself. Some of its hooves occasionally slip towards the edge and it starts freaking out again, but you manage to keep it mostly calm. Would you like to make a strength check?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Make a strength check. I'm just going to say a straight strength check.
This is the one bit of luck I'm gonna get, but I got unnatural 20.
Okay, cool. How would you like to attempt to carry this horse? In what position are you attempting to carry this horse?
Trying to think what would be the best way. I've got a really stupid idea, and I know it's not going to work, and I don't want to use that one, but I want to say it just because I think it's an interesting idea. So I'm going to kind of wrap myself around the horse, just bear hug the horse and then fly.
That is what I was thinking, to be fair.
So it's not a stupid idea.
So you fly above Anya's horse and you kind of grab it as girthily as you can, and then kind of lift it off the edge, at which point it immediately starts freaking out again. Make a contested strength check.
The horse is gonna die.
I got 21.
That's pretty good.
Okay. I'm gonna make you do so. You descend halfway. So the tower is 5 stories high. You get midway through the 3rd story when you need to make another contested strength check. This is the last one.
$16.
16. Okay.
The horse dies. Oh no.
Anya's horse rears its head backwards and smashes you in the face. And you just instinctually hurtle backwards, letting go unintentionally as this horse starts falling towards the ground. Hilari, the crowd begins to run away, and Hilari takes a step forward, at which point she points up and the horse begins to catches in midair and feather falls the rest of the distance gently, as if you kind of spin backwards a few times, kind of smashed in the face. Take 4 damage from Black Beauty smashing you in the face.
Stupid.
But the horse is fine. And you descend to the ground as you please. Hilari ends action. Oh wait, she just cast Featherfall.
Horse gets bigger.
No, she casts Featherfall, which means she ends concentration on Fly, right?
Fly. Yeah. Oh, if Fly's concentration spell, then it's Fly. Yeah, if Fly and Featherfall are concentration spells, then yes.
Oh wait, no, Featherfall isn't a concentration spell, so is that all right?
I believe
she has to make does she have to make a check?
She might have to make a check.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is it not if she gets hit, she has to make a check?
There's a lot of different reasons you have to make a check. Well, there's 3. One is getting hit, but I don't remember the other one. Let me quickly grab it.
Oh boy. Well, at least we found another one, which leaves one horse.
Concentration. Casting another spell that requires concentration. Nope, she's fine. As long as one of them isn't concentration, she's all right.
Okay, perfect. So Anya's horse gently falls to the ground where it lands on the tubes, and Hilary attempts to calm it as you, Eartha, regain yourself, kind of hurtling through the air after being smashed in the face, and then you land next to Hilary and Anya's horse as well. And then we can go forward to when you got back. You can hitch up Anya's horse outside of Aurora's Emporium, and then we'll continue through everything you just did, seeing Lelianor and Anya. Yeah. So, is there anything you think you would do in the half an hour until Samura arrives, or would you like to fast forward to that point?
Ask if there's anywhere I can put my clothes out to dry.
Of course, yeah, sure. Lelianor will, sure, and she'll kind of grab them, and she'll take them. Actually, she'll say, "There's nowhere here, but I can take them home to dry them in my near my home if you need that."
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Cool. She kind of just shoves your wet clothes into a bag, and she says she'll take them home to dry and return to you at a later point. Cool. Anything else before Samura arrives?
Can I ask Thingy to cast a spell on the horse? The locate object on the horse for the saddle.
Cool. Hilary cannot currently detect sea salt. Right. So, Samura, you enter the city gates with Iak, and you walk through the city streets. At which point you walk past this quaint, modest shop with the flower pots and the alabaster windows and the sign out front with a woman's portrait on it. At which Iak says, "And this is your destination, my friend."
Well, it's been lovely talking to you. And I hope we get to see each other around. And I'll shake his hand, and I'll say thank you again, and I'll go back and I'll go inside.
Good day. And he walks off on his way. So Samura, you see Black Beauty strapped up out front, and you walk to the door and you see Anya, Hilary, Eartha, and Lelianor, the store owner.
As I walk in, obviously I'll see all of them in a row, and before anybody says anything, I go, "Oh, Eartha, I see you've decided to dress nice for once." And go up and give everyone a hug.
So you're all back together again. And at this point, Lelianor says, "So we're missing a horse and a bird and a suit of armor."
Yeah.
Her name's Jade.
Her name is Jade. Okay. Well, the spells aren't working.
Can I actually cast what's its face? Locate object on Jade, just so I can check.
It's because we never did it on Jade, so
yeah, we never did it in the city.
You cannot currently detect Jade's presence.
Fantastic.
Make sure you all keep a track of spell slots, by the way, because we're burning through a lot.
I don't have any first or third level spell slots anymore.
I only have first level spell slots. Wait, Alice, locate object is second level.
Is it? Oh, well, I've got no second level then. Okay, so I used... Yeah, I've got no second level.
Why are you guys... And then as she's like, "Yeah, it's lovely to see you again, Hilary. I'm glad you chose to visit, but what brings you all to Westgate?"
I have some people. I have one person I need to try and find. They wanted to speak with me. I've actually never met them before, and when we met Hilary, she was so nice. We sat down and had a chat with her, and we convinced her to have a holiday while she was at it.
Well, Hilary and my grandmother were very close, and Hilary, being an elf, is now very close with me since my grandma and my mother's passing. But I know Westgate very well. I spend most of my time here. I spend a few months of the year in Baldur's Gate and in Waterdeep, but I can help you find anything in Westgate that you need,
A horse, a bird, and a suit of armor.
except for those things. I can put feelers out and see if any word gets back.
That would be a great help.
Of course.
All right. I'm gonna. I'll turn to everyone. But like, I think we should. I mean, we can't just sit around. We're gonna have to go out and try and look for them. Should we just go ask some guards? You know.
I mean, I don't know if I should be telling you this, Anya, but we did find your horse. Not in the nicest of places. So far, the nicest of places have been a couple miles outside of the city and here. I was at the bottom of the ocean. Our friend Hilary was in a coffin, buried in the ground.
She kind of does a little bow and she kind of wipes some dirt out of her lovely silver hair.
And Black Beauty was 5 stories up on a tower roof in the center of town. So.
No, but I'm glad Samura got a nice walk into the city. She kind of like tightens that robe to kind of give herself some support as she's freezing.
I gotta really say, Hilary, you really missed out. You would have been fascinated by what that man had to say. He was really interesting, and I think he even.
What man?
When I spawned on, I teleported onto some hills, some stones. There was 7 of them, kind of equidistant parts away in a circle.
I'm familiar with the hills. I've never been, but I'm familiar.
There was a man studying them, told me all about them and their past and what they were used for before being points. But stuff you would have loved. You really missed out.
You shall have to regale me over a brew at a later point when we found your birds and your horses and your jades.
Yes, of course.
Right. While they're having this conversation, Eartha, you hear a voice appear in your head. Tell me, Slaver's Bane, what transpired in Baldur's Gate? You hear the voice of Caitlin Bloodhawk.
Oh shit! Right. Killed one of the keys. Got a key. He was trying to become more powerful by using the key. Some plot about us tied with destiny still. Multiple timelines? What do we do with key?
Right. Well, where are you? Are you in Baldur's Gate, Candlekeep? I can have someone meet you if you think it better it be passed over. What do you intend to do with it otherwise?
I think for now we will keep the key until we come across a second. Currently in Westgate. Always watching out just in case. Don't know who to trust.
We have agents in Westgate. Notify me should you need help.
Thank you. I will deliver a letter on how to destroy key to one of these people. Just give me a date and where to meet them.
You don't hear a response currently, but you take it she'll get back to you.
Well, I didn't expect to reply to that one.
Yeah. So,
speaking of which, whilst that's going on, I'm going to walk over to Samara and ask to sneakily slide it, is there anyone else in the shop bar us?
Lelianor.
I'm going to kind of stand in a way where she can't see me. I'm going to be facing Samara, but have her kind of like behind me. And I'm going to ask Samara to pass the key over.
Make a sleight of hand check with advantage.
I'm going to grab out a sending stone like I did last time with the key on the side of it. So like it's hand, key, sending stone on top between my hand and the stone. So the key's between my hand and the stone, then grabbing it. And I'll hand it over to him.
15.
I presume I need to make one as well. 20.
Cool. Yeah. So you feel pretty confident that you've handed over the key, and no one is any the wiser.
And then
Could,
I'll grab his sending stone off him, just so then we still both have one.
yeah, cool. Could you all make a perception check?
8.
11.
26.
26. Okay, Anya, you're kind of in the middle of having some passive conversation with Lelianor and Hilari. Samara, you're kind of busy making sure you've got the right sending stone and making sure everything's been organized properly. And Eartha, you kind of like, you feel like the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and just you hear Anya's horse outside make a noise, like it's fretting again. And you kind of just glance towards the door as you hear, the others don't seem to be aware of it, but you hear Anya's horse kind of momentarily fret.
I'm gonna grab the hilt of my sword and kind of walk outside.
As you approach the door slams open as though a gust of wind has smashed into it. But there appears to be nothing there. And you're all aware of this now. The front door slams open heavily and slams into the wall, and you hear this torrent of wind smash into it. But now there appears to be nothing there.
I'm going to
Who has the invisibility?
Me.
That's just.
Do it.
Right.
I'm gonna
That's
grab.
the tunnel.
I'm gonna draw my sword, but also hold tight to wherever the key is, to make sure that it's not gonna get pickpocketed.
Snap
I'll
my
give
fingers.
I'll give you all one thing. So Jess is doing see invisibility. That's what you're doing, Eartha. What are you doing, Samara?
Mage armor. Snap my fingers. Get my purple armor.
Cool.
Oh shit! I've got no armor. Oh well.
So Samara, yeah, this purple magical translucent armor magically appears around you. If you do that and make sure you've got everything where you want it. Anya, and you are casting see invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
Could you read that for us?
Yeah. So for the duration, which is 1 hour, you see invisible creatures and objects as if they were visible, and you can see into the ethereal plane. Ethereal creatures and objects appear ghostly and translucent.
Yeah. So as what's the requirements of it? Is it VSM? What materials does it use, if any?
VSM, and it uses a pinch of talc and a small sprinkling of powdered silver.
Okay, yeah. So as Eartha says, who has seen visibility, and you kind of remembering you do, you grab the components you need and kind of crush them up in your hands before dropping them back in your bag. Your eyes kind of glow blue, and anyone looking at Anya can see this as her eyes become cloudy and blue. And Anya, as you're looking into the room, you see this. You don't really see much. It's almost like this. You see the form of something that looks like wind. It looks like wind, but sharp and angry and hateful. And it's looming above Samura. Everyone roll initiative.
Ooh.
Oh,
Anya, what did you get?
6.
Samura
23.
and Eartha.
2.
2.
It's got a -1, hasn't he?
No, I've got
Little
I've
dumbass.
got a 0, my guy.
Okay.
Okay, so top of the round, Samura. So the door burst open, and then you looked over and you saw Anya's eyes kind of glaze over and go cloudy and turn blue as she looks around the room. But that's all the information you currently have.
And I want to use a perception check using sight, obviously, to look around and try and find like a bucket of powder, like a bucket of like a dusty like sand, any sort of like substance like that, to try and like throw in the room so the people without seeing visibility can see.
If there's anything like that on the adventuring gear table, then you can try. If there isn't, then I'm afraid not.
Oh, what is that? What is that? Let's have a quick scan, and if it's taking too long, I'll just do something else.
Yeah, no worries.
Have a look. Holy water won't work because that's water. I feel like isn't going to be good enough. Ow! No, it's not using oil. That's flammable.
No, because you have to get dead on, won't you?
Ooh. There's ink. I just don't know. I don't know what the quantity of ink is.
Ink will be in small vials. It could
Yeah,
work to an extent.
It's a 1 ounce bottle. Right, nah. So it's most likely not gonna work, Lynn, so I'm gonna do something else.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at my spell list. Could I? Ooh. That'll be weird. I'm gonna cast. Oh wow, no, that works. Oh, I know I'm dead useless. I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead, which requires me, I believe, to point at a target. So I think I'm just gonna point at the air somewhere and be like, I hope to God it's there.
Okay. Does it say? Do you have to roll to hit with that, or is it?
It
just-
also says I have to see it within range, so I don't think I'm allowed to do it.
No.
Samurai's air slash. Do I have to see the creature?
You can
for that?
hold. You can hold your action if you like.
Actually, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hold my action for when Anya says something because I know she can see it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold Samurai's air slash to try and if the wind can knock it against a wall or something, we can hear a thud with the pushback.
Okay. Cool. So you're holding your action to be directed as to where it is. No worries. So next up, Samurai, do a 16 and an 18 hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's next. Yeah, they. Oh, it's. Oh, it's 16 and 18. I believe Major Armor makes my thing at 17, but it's not written on my spell sheet quickly.
No worries, you got a minute.
Are we filming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're filming again.
We started again.
17 is my AC, so one of them hits and one of them doesn't.
Okay.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die quickly.
Okay, you take 7 bludgeoning damage as you just feel this. As you're kind of looking around, you kind of start. You don't even know what you're readying, but just you ready your hands in a way as to which you could quickly cast a spell, and you're kind of looking at Anya, waiting for some sort of direction, and just from nowhere, just this bludgeoning invisible force smashes into you, and kind of you instinctually curl up on yourself, but taking that damage. That will be that. It is Hilari next. Okay, Hilari is going to. Okay, I've got just a little version of the map drawn on my thing based on where I think you're standing. So Hilari and Lelianor are standing behind the counter. You three and whatever this thing is are standing in front of the counter, in between the counter and the front door. Hilari is going to run to the edge of the counter and reach over to grab. She can't grab Eartha because Eartha was going towards the door. So she's going to, from over the counter, Hilari reaches out a hand and grabs you, Samurai. So as you fall back, as you're pushed backwards into the counter, you're kind of like half lying across it. Hilari grabs your wrist and tightens a hand, and she's going to cast True Seeing. So you can see everything how it is, not just invisibility, but you can see through illusions and everything. So yeah, you see this. Just to show it again, you see this creature looming above you, seemingly focused on you for the moment.
Does that mean I can cast my spell with my
Your
held
action.
action?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So I'm casting Samura's Air Slash, where with a slashing motion of my arm, I cut through the wind and it shoots forwards into the person if I hit,
Cool. Go for it.
which is an
You
18 plus 8.
yeah, 18 plus 8 hits.
So that is 6 damage, but also this entity has to succeed in a dexterity saving throw.
How much damage is it? Sorry. Oh, sorry. What was
6
it?
damage, and also it needs a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw. Okay. It got 10.
So it fails, and it's pushed back 5 feet.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You kind of see it's almost like watching a dancer. Like as you push it back with the air, it kind of spins, and you can see what it doesn't have a face, but it kind of has these dark pits, what appear to be eyes, and you can kind of see the way it spins and its form spins. It almost like pirouettes to be facing you again as it's pushed back. Cool. Then next up, it's you, Anya.
I had a question about one of the spells or whatever you call it in the Ironstone is rope trick. How does that work exactly?
Jackson
Wherever
will
you
take
are.
that one.
Yeah, wherever you are. I presume, Brad, I presume this place we're in is not 60 feet tall.
Not even 10. It's just a
Yeah.
store.
But basically, if you're in a space where there's 60 feet above you free, you can, as it's in the Ironstone, you don't need the component. But if you needed the component, you'd need a rope, and the rope would extend straight up vertically in a 60 feet long motion, which you could then use your action to shoot up with the rope into basically the best way to describe it is it's a one-way mirror, and it's an invisible box 60 feet off the ground, but you can see out into the real world. But when people look at the box from the outside, they just see through it as if nothing's there.
Oh,
But you
okay.
could basically, if you had the room, you could shoot up into an invisible space and hide or do any sort of escape trick with that.
Okay, that's not what I thought it was. I thought it was some kind of like Indiana Jones kind of thing. I was thinking
No.
of like wrapping the wind in the rope and then it would be easier to, yeah. Okay, well that didn't go to plan. I will. Can I cast enhance ability? To Sorry, I'm like I don't know. Whereabouts is the wind right now from Anya's perspective?
So the way I've got it is Eartha is behind it, Samura is to the right of it, and Anya is to the left of it. So you are all facing inwards on it, 5
Right.
feet inwards on it.
I will cast. Sorry, I'm kind of just struggling here because
You can just
I
do
don't really know
enhance
what.
ability. That's fine.
Yeah, am I okay to just do that?
Yeah. Which one are you doing?
I'll cast enhance ability on Eartha. I don't know if any of these will be any use to him, but obviously there's bear's endurance, there's bull's strength, cat's grace, eagle's splendor, fox's cunning, or owl's wisdom.
Ellis, if you look up the spell, you should be able to find. If you just put enhance ability 5e and go on the Roll20 link, it should have like the actual, because the spell card doesn't have what they do on it because there's not a lot of room on the card.
I've got the book in front of me.
Cool. So if there's Do any of those jump out to you?
Yep, Bear's
I just-
Endurance. Because I get 2d6 temporary hit points.
Cool. Yeah. So Anya casts Enhance Ability, Bear's Endurance on Eartha. So Eartha, give yourself those 2d6 hit points. And Anya, were you wanting to use your bonus action to describe where the creature is?
Yeah.
Cool.
This one's a concentration spell, by the way. And
No worries.
so
Thank you for letting me know. So that's Anya's turn. Eartha, what would you like to do? So Anya has shouted out, describing where it is, kind of saying it's in between all three of you. So you don't know exactly where it is, but you have a much better idea than you did before.
I'm going to do cast at first level, detect magic.
Okay.
For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object. And oh, doesn't matter. I thought it said invisible. That's stupid. Then I'm going to say the word ash as my bonus action as my sword lights up, and I'm going to swing where Anya said.
Cool. Yeah. Roll with. Just make a straight roll, because usually you have disadvantage, but since she's described where it is, I'll just give you a straight roll.
21.
21 to hit, hits.
Yeah, and I'm doing that two-handed, so that's a d10 plus 2d6. I got 13.
13.
13 damage.
Thank you. Let me just double check. Yeah, cool. 13 damage. Very good. Anything else?
No, that's it.
So yeah, Eartha, you say the command word ash, and your flame tongue sword bursts into flames as you slash to where Anya directed you in the space within Aurora's Emporium. And you just see like the flames kind of roil up this creature you can't see as it slashes through, and you hear this kind of guttural, angry wind sound like as the flame tongue meets this creature. Cool. Next is Lelianor, who can't really do a lot, so she's going to try and make herself as small a target as possible and hide beneath the counter. But Samara, it's your turn again. So you have True Seeing from Hilari, so you can see this creature, this pointed wind-like creature. Actually, if you like, you can make an you can make an intelligence check to see if you know what this thing is.
I'll go for it. That's an 18.
18. Cool. You've kind of heard loose things about this, especially since being an Aarakocra, you kind of know things here and there about the plane of air. This is an invisible stalker. It is a creature that is created by wizards and mages who they trap an air elemental from the plane of air, and they twist it into a kind of a targeted assassin who is kind of imprisoned until they assassinate their target, and then they are freed.
Oh, do you reckon that's the guy you made an enemy of?
Forced. My boy Forced. Right. Well, I'm gonna fly up to be on level with him because he's slightly elevated off the floor, isn't he? This little ghost guy.
Not really. He's kind of like the torrent is like slugging along the bottom of the floor. He's just kind of taller than you.
Okay. Can I try and fly above him, but like staying within 5 feet? Because I don't want to give him an opportunity attack.
You
but I
can't
just want
really fly in here. It's just a
yeah.
room. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's go try and air slash him into the floor. Try and pin him in. Okay. What
Is he not surrounded now?
You do have him flanked. Yeah.
Nice.
That would be.
And it's being hit. Yes, I'm going to use Toll the Dead.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Basically, I'm just gonna. It's verbal and somatic, so I basically stand up straight and point my finger straight towards him. And he should just feel a level of necrotic energy coming over him. Let's see if I hit first.
Cool.
Oh no, I don't even need to overroll a hit. He just needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. 14.
That fails. So, as everyone in the room hears this like dolorous bell fill the air, as it's just like a one, like hitting a bell at a church just once and just letting it ring for a couple seconds as it just like rattles, really ominously. This ghost takes 1d12 necrotic damage.
1d12, yeah, roll it.
I've got the right one. Yes. That's 10 damage.
Cool.
Oh, never mind. It takes 2d12 because I'm level 5 now.
All right, yeah, cool.
And the damage has been upped.
Yeah.
So it takes 13 damage.
So an extra 3 on top of that 10, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Anything else?
That is it.
No worries. Then Samara does 20 and that's a natural 1. 20 and it got a natural 1. So
The 20 hits.
blah, 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 blah. Take 9 bludgeoning damage as this torrent of wind kind of coils around again and slams into you. Kind of when it makes a large motion, it kind of turns into this pointed funnel before it then like balances out again and becomes this not humanoid, but like you can kind of see it has these pointed tendril-like arms and these dark holes for eyes when it kind of re-steadies itself. And the other hit just doesn't do anything because it doesn't have anything else to hit.
Am I allowed to shout out when it hits me?
I mean, it's visible, but yeah.
Yeah, can I shout out a phrase as it hits me?
Yeah, sure.
Can I just shout, "It wants me"?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I'll just shout that as it's like bombarding me with the wind.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, good move. So next up is Hilari. Hilari is going to she's also tight for relevant spell slots, so she is going to cast okay. She is going to take out a copper piece and move her arms and chant a whisper. And as she holds out her arm, her eyes kind of roll back into her head, and she listens for a moment as kind of the wind blows her hair and robes back, and she says, "Yes, it wants him." She cast Detect Thoughts. So that is going to be pretty much her turn. She's going to stay behind there. Anya, it's your turn again.
I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
So it has to make a Wisdom saving throw, and on a failed save, it'll take 3d6 psychic damage.
It got 14, which I think fails. So roll that 3d6.
4, 6, 4.
14, nice. Cool, thank you. Would you like to do anything else, or do you want to call it there?
I'll just leave it there because I actually can't see it at the moment because obviously I swapped see invisibility for
Enhance.
So.
Yeah, no worries. Good keeping track of that though. So Eartha, it's your turn now.
As my bonus action, I'm going to cast Second Wind, which is my fighter ability, which I completely forgot. I took a level in fighter. to heal myself 10 plus my fighter level. So I
Cool.
gained 11 health. And then I'm just gonna hit him with a sword.
Go for it.
21 again.
Actually, it's with
No.
disadvantage because Anya's not directing you.
Oh, yes. Well, that was
Sorry.
19. That was
Wait.
16.
No, but wouldn't it also be an advantage because you're flanking?
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
so it'll come out as
taking
normal.
a good guess of where he is because of him just hitting Jackson.
It's
Yeah,
disadvantage
go with
and
the original
advantage.
roll. Yeah, just go with the original roll because you had disadvantage and advantage, so it should have just been a straight roll.
I think. Oh, that was
21,
No, it wasn't that. That was bad maths. It was 11 plus 8, so 19.
19. That still hits.
Oh, nice. 6, 8 damage.
8 damage.
Yes, 3 plus 5 fire damage.
Cool. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
No worries. Lelianor is going to stay doing what she's doing. Samara, it is your turn again.
Is there a door on the like summoning circle room?
No, it's an open doorway.
Right. Although it can maneuver its body, so grappling's out the question. I gotta heal in some sort of way. What have I got?
I can heal you, buddy. I think.
Well, can you heal me before he hits me?
No, no, I cannot.
Exactly.
I can heal you when you're down.
I've got an idea. I'm gonna cast Chromatic Orb. A very volatile spell in a wooden shop, most likely.
Okay. As long as you don't pick fire, you should be okay.
But that's the thing. No, I'm not. So you can choose acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder. I'm gonna try and pick cold in the hopes of cold air. You know. Shut up. Okay, shut up, Alice. I'm trying something, okay? I don't really have a choice. Yeah. When
Go for it.
air gets cold, it turns to snow. That's what happens. So I'm trying my best. Yes, I'm gonna launch that at it, which is like a 25 or something like that. Yeah, 25 to hit.
That hits.
And that will take. So I'll get this diamond, which I always focus on, worth 50 gold because it doesn't consume it in the spell. So it's like the same diamond, which is always in my bag. And I'll hold this out in my hand as I spin my other hand around it, and this orb summons in this hand, this blue orb. And I'll it's right in front of me, and I'll just kind of like lean back and then just like shove it as fast as I can forwards into him.
Yeah.
Not even focusing on accuracy since it's so close, just purely on like the power of impact.
Bring it in. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is 8, 16. That is 22 damage.
22, nice.
Yeah, and then my bonus action, I'll kind of like try and look around it to Urfa, and be like, a bit of, well, sorry, a bit of healing, please. And yeah, that'll be it for me.
Here's the problem, buddy. My healing spell's a touch spell.
It's almost like you're not a cleric.
I'm a war cleric / fighter, buddy. I ain't no healer.
I think Anya has healing word.
A bunch of healers.
Cool. Invisible Stalker is going to do 2 more slams into you, Samara. That's a 23 to hit and a 13 to hit.
Yeah, one of them hits. I was gonna use shield, but it's above shield anyways.
8 damage.
Okay. Yeah, I am like crippling, like I am barely stood up.
Yeah. This time it spirals around you, and instead of slamming you the way it has been, it goes behind you and slams you forward, pushing you into the middle. And yeah, again, stabilizes itself, and you start to see this. When it's in movement and when it's attacking, it's even when you've got like see invisibility and true sight, it almost becomes invisible again. It's almost like wind with a slight tinge of color. But when it then steadies itself again and it's in between barrages, then you see this kind of tenderly loose, aggravated wind shape. That's going to be its turn. Hilari, all of Hilari's damage spells are kind of like going to hurt you guys more than it would hurt this thing. So she is just going to
It was stick.
she has fireball and she wants to use it, but she's going to hold off.
I didn't want to set the shop on fire, so I didn't use it.
Actually,
Right.
she's gonna use Stone Skin on Lelianor to make sure, because if Lelianor gets hit like once, she's gonna die. So Hilari's gonna crouch down and put a hand on Lelianor's shoulder, and Lelianor's skin turns to stone, giving her a much higher AC. And that'll be Hilari's turn. Anya, it is you again.
I'm going to cast Healing Word on Samura.
Yep, right.
Bear with me. Okay. 11.
Fantastic.
11. Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, so saying some reaffirming words, Samura, you like kind of blood coming from like your like the bases of your eyes and like the sides of your beak, as you kind of like fall like almost falling unconscious and blacking out. Anya shouts something reaffirming that like picks you back up again, and as that blood kind of drops from you, the wound closes a bit, not allowing any more to pass. Anything else, Anya, or do you want to call it there?
Well, I get a bonus action.
Yeah.
So, this is a bit out of the box, but am I allowed to take something from the shop, use it in combat, and then pay for it later?
Sure. Yeah. You could. You think as long as you intend to pay for it, you think no one's going to have any beef with
I
it,
don't know
or even
how
if you don't, because this is a
much
life or
it
death situation.
but I don't know how much it's going to cost. I'm hoping it's less than 200 gold pieces because I think that's all I've got. But I want to take some acid
Cool.
and just oh wait, no, I have to use that. Wait, so is it an action to get the acid, or can I use it to get the
I'll
acid?
say that's an interaction, so it's minimal. So you still have your bonus action.
Oh, so I can throw the acid at the creature as an action.
Sure. Yeah.
It says that so it says, in either case, make a ranged attack against a creature or object, treating the acid as an improvised weapon. On a hit, the target takes 2d6 acid damage.
So did was healing word a bonus action or an action? I think that might be a bonus action.
Bonus
is.
action.
Yeah, so you've still got your action, so you can throw the acid at this thing if you like. Yeah, totally fine. So roll a 20 and add your dexterity modifier to it.
Okay.
Is this thing undead?
It's an air elemental turned into an assassin.
I was just checking.
24.
24 to hit, definitely hits. Does it say how much damage it does on it?
2d6
Yep, roll those.
acid damage. Okay, 2. 3. That's not that much, but
Every little helps.
Was that 3 total?
yeah, 3.
No worries. 3. There we go. Yep, every little helps. And there's multiple vials, so you can just keep filling them if you want. The
Free acid.
Cool. Yeah, good turn. Good turn, Jess. Itha.
So when you said the thingy hit Jackson, pushed him forwards, is Jackson now in front of me?
Yes. So Anya is in front of you and to the left. Samura is directly in front of you, and the invisible stalker is in front of you and to the right.
I mean, I don't know what the invisible stalker is, so that doesn't really help me. I'm going
But yeah,
to
Samura is right in front of you.
cast Cure Wounds on Samura. So I'm going to give
Cool.
him a friendly pat on the back and heal him for 1d8 plus my spell.
More than 13, then it maxes out. So
Yeah, it is. It's 14.
Cool.
Jackson.
I think he's frozen.
oh.
Oh, he's back. He popped in.
I looked down and started saying something, and then everyone was frozen. I was terrified.
Well, it fixed itself.
You got 14,
so,
buddy. 14
Oh,
health.
thank you.
I just realised I've got 18 inspiration and I could have used that to deal more damage.
How the? Oh my god!
How have you got 18?
None.
I've got
She doesn't
2.
use them. She's just been saving them. She's saving them for the final boss.
I didn't even know how to use it. It wasn't until the last episode you were like, you all were
We're
like,
gonna
oh,
get
you
to the
can use that to help you in combat and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just a box.
Basically, anytime you roll a 20, you can use an inspiration to re-roll a 20.
All right.
We're gonna get to the final boss, and you'll be like rolling that 20, and you can calm down, and Jess is gonna be like inspiration. It's just gonna keep going. Yeah.
It's not a bad tactic. No, Eartha, anything else you want to do, or is that your turn?
I can't really do anything else, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because I still can't see it, which is a bit up in the air. Actually, my sword gives off a bright light for 40 foot. Is he creating a shadow?
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
He's still gonna
If you can get
some.
above 20, I'll say you can see some sort of shimmer.
Yeah,
I'm
plus 16.
I'm already above 20 on my first roll. And
Yeah,
that's
you
higher
did
than
that.
before. I got
Okay,
26.
Cool, yeah. When you look at the top of a road on like a really hot day and you can see that kind of heat wave emanating from like the tarmac, you can kind of see on the wall when you kind of pull your sword back as you go in to heal Samura, you can kind of, it's almost like, when you get your phone and like there's some sunlight coming in from your window and it's like a reflection hit the roof or something like that, you can just see some kind of shimmering, like slight bits of shadow, not even shadow, it's just the light changing direction, so you can almost see its outline. Not really, you can't make it out, but you think you're seeing where it's just immediately been, so you might be able to hit it.
Perfect. I'm then going to point my sword towards it.
Cool.
And that is it, because I can't hit. My action was healing Jackson.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, good turn. Lelianor is going to stay with her stone. Actually, since Lelianor has stone skin, she's gonna be brave, and she is gonna jump over the counter and follow Anya's suit, and she is gonna throw a vial of acid at this thing.
Can she see it?
She cannot.
I am pointing.
She's just gonna attempt to.
Pointing straight at us.
That's also true. She rolled a. Oh, I thought she missed, but she didn't. She just hit. And what was it? It was a 2d6, Jess.
Yeah, 2d6.
Cool. Ba-ba-ba. Cool. Yeah, she hurls another one of the vials of acids from the counter towards this invisible stalker. And it again smashes on like almost like the wind, like throwing something at a hurricane. It just smashes open and kind of it internalizes into it. And you can almost see, like, you guys can see the acid and even some of the fire from Eartha's sword kind of residually flying around inside this thing's form. Not quite enough to, because it kind of stretches out in so many different directions, not enough to help you see it, but enough to keep doing damage. Cool. Next up is Samura.
I'm gonna, obviously, because I have my book and my staff out, I'm gonna like pull my hand together, which like the book will just like snap, and then throw it on my side quickly and two-hand my staff and make a melee attack against it.
Go for it. Sure.
That is a 21,
Hits.
which is 1d8 plus 2 is 9, but also I'm going to use the thunder action on my staff, which will emit a crack of thunder audible out to 300 feet. The target now needs to succeed on a DC 17 Constitution saving throw or be stunned until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
Try and hit
So
me
now-
now, bitch.
It's a natural 1.
Ah, yes.
How much damage did it take again?
9 damage.
9.
Yeah.
9 damage, and it can't do anything until the end of your next turn.
Yes.
Cool.
It's stunned.
Then it doesn't get to take its turn. Hilari is going to. She can't do True Sight again. Hilari is going to cast Mage Armor on herself. Samura, where you got your magical kind of purple armor, hers is kind of this light shimmering silvery blue. And she's going to ready herself to join the fray. Anya, it's your turn.
Oh, crap.
You can just keep hawking acid if you like.
Just keep throwing acid. Jackson, what health are you on?
Well, Ellis actually healed me more than he possibly could.
Okay.
I'd just hawk acid. 2d6 is not bad damage.
Okay. I'll throw some more acid.
Yeah, cool, go for it. Roll a 20 and add your dexterity.
Oh yeah, I
They go
forgot.
back in the druid's little dungeon.
14.
Hits.
Oh thank God. Okay.
Roll 2d6.
Can I add inspiration to the damage or not?
Not to only to the 20.
Oh, this one. Okay, damn it. Okay, 2. Okay, so I've got 6. 6 altogether.
Cool. So, Anya, kind of now you and Lilianor are standing side by side, both just grabbing vials of acid from this bench and hurling it towards the where Eartha is pointing his sword. He's kind of tracking any movement it makes with the tip of its sword so you can follow it. And as you huck this bottle of acid towards it, it kind of, in a spiral movement, which Eartha tracks, it smashes into this depressed face that it almost has, and and you kind of feel it crash to the ground, and everything in the store begins to move for a second as though this gust of wind is moving throughout the whole shop. Things are falling off shelves, glasses are shattering, things are falling off tables, and then a stillness falls over everything. Congratulations. You've survived, and Anya, you got him.
Can I quickly check for the key to make sure it's still in my pocket?
Yeah, you find it where you left it.
Right.
Walking outside. I'm going to try and fly on top of the roof of this building.
Yeah, sure.
Wait.
Yeah.
Can I quickly cast see invisibility again just to make sure it has gone?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. So you do it again. Your eyes turn blue as you look around. Yeah, you can't see anything.
Okay, that's all right.
As you do that, and as you come back and you shake the spell, and your eyes go back to normal, Lelianor is like, "That was awesome. You did really well." And she kind of pats you on the back, Anya. And then she goes to see what's happening outside. Samara, you fly up to the roof.
It's a quick perception check for forced, basically, or anybody who I think's looking suspiciously towards me. I understand that there'll be more people looking at me because I'm a bird flying on a roof, but you know.
And there was just a massive commotion from the building you came out of.
Yeah, and a 300-foot audible sound, but
Make a perception
the best I can do. That is an 18. Oh, 18 on sight, but it's actually only a 15 on every other sense.
Yeah, you don't see forced. You don't see anyone that looks particularly remarkable. You just see a lot of commoners, a few merchants, just citizens who are watching for whatever the commotion was. But you don't see anyone that looks familiar or particularly remarkable to your eye.
I go out and do
Just
the
like,
same.
because like I'm
Climbing
kind
on
of
the
like
roof.
No.
Because when I'm on the roof doing this, I want to be like sat with my feet hanging off the roof. And after I have a look around quickly and realize that there's no one there, I'll like lean back so I'm lying down flat on this roof, or like if it's angled, then lying angled on this roof. Kind of like close my eyes and think, oh my god, thank God that's over. But then like within like 2 seconds, just snap back up and be like, Jade, and just like get down from the roof.
Yeah, cool. If they make a perception check.
21.
Same. You don't see anyone familiar. You're in a new place. You don't see anyone who you've known before, and you don't see anyone that looks particularly threatening or remarkable. These just appear to be commoners, merchants, city folk. No one who looks particularly malicious or involved. Just people who are wondering what's happening.
Do I see my bird flying around, maybe? You know, maybe you hear the sound. I was like, oh, head
Make a
that way.
perception check with disadvantage.
Can I?
Maths.
I'll let Alice go first.
24.
24. You see lots of birds around. You don't. There's some off in the distance that could be newt, but you have no way of being sure without approaching.
Shit. Okay.
I'll tell him. If you want, I can go check them. I mean, I've got nothing better to do.
I mean, we're all gonna have to go look around anyway. We'll have a wander. We'll try to find Jade. We need to find sea salt as well.
You guys start checking the floor. I'll try and fly around the city and
In fact,
check the birds which are flying.
fly up and see if you can see any big commotions, like crowds of people where they look a bit shocked, because we found Black Beauty that way.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Right. Okay. I'll fly up. But as I'm doing this, can I just say, Jade actually has. She has a 1 as her intelligence, which means she may be very stupid, but she has some level of intelligence outside of my control of her. So if she was within 300 feet and could hear the blast, would there be a chance that Jade would recognize it as something I quite usually do? Because I've used thunderclap and stuff like that quite a lot.
I'd say there is. Yeah.
So can I roll an intelligence? And you don't have to tell me if she is within 300 feet or not, but if she hears it, she hears it.
I don't know what you mean. Why would you roll for that?
Well, just because Jade has a 1 of intelligence, so if she hears it, and there's a chance like her magicalness clicks.
Oh,
to
no,
be like,
no.
oh, Samurai uses that.
If she's within 300 feet, she'll probably, because she has no direction, she'll probably go towards anything to see if she can find her way back to where she's meant to be.
Right. Well, that's hopeful then. Right, can I make that perception check to see if there's any commotions about? If it's sight, that's a 24. If it's not sight, then it's a 21.
It's difficult to see particular gatherings. There are a few large gatherings throughout the whole city. There's the market, which you would expect to look from a distance like a large gathering. There's the outside of what appears to be a large coliseum in the east of the city, just before the river. that appears to have lots of people hanging around, but that also the nature of the area makes sense. You don't see anything outside of the market and the outside of the Colosseum that appear to have a large, unusual gathering.
I'll fly back down and I'll turn to Urfa and I'll go. Apart from the market and what I assume is some large arena, Colosseum, whatever you want to call it, there's nowhere really particular. Maybe we should check the inns. If we go to all the inns, or at least, most, and like at least one in each area, someone's bound to know something if they're inside the city. Especially the horse and Jade.
True. We'll go get Anya and see what she, wants to do.
I think it's worth asking people, because even if someone doesn't know the exact whereabouts of what we're looking, obviously where Jade and the horse and the bird are, then they'll know something. Like they might have known. As I'm not making any sense. I mean, like they might have heard something rather than know something. So it's best we just ask around, and then might get closer to where the whereabouts of, obviously, Jade and stuff.
Yeah. Is there any checks we can make them, Brad, to just kind of like wander the city and just start asking people stuff?
Sure. Well, have you told? Lelianor continues to ask what you're doing in Westgate. So she says, I understand you're looking for your other lost things, but is there anywhere? You said you were here to see a friend. Is there anywhere specific you're trying to go?
She said the Quivering Thumb, I believe.
Well, that's the arena near the city's east end. You could make your way towards there and see if you pick anything up along the way. I can reach out to people. I know plenty of people in the city and see if they've heard of anything.
Yeah, that would be very nice of you. Thank you. Yeah, I guess.
Of course.
We may as well head to the Quivering Thumb then. I'll turn to the other two and see if they agree.
Yeah.
Guess we're heading there.
All right. Well, I'll lock up, and Hilary, if you come with me, and we can try some of my people. Okay. And Lelianor begins gathering her things to lock up the store early. And Hilary's like, well, I wish you all luck. We will gather once you've done what you need to do, and we can figure out what to do from there.
Okay.
Very good. Come, Lelianor. They lock as you guys head out. You turn back to see them locking up Aurora's and going off in the other direction as you guys wander eastward toward the big Colosseum arena in the city's east end. And we'll call that session there.